Welcome everyone to the Dr. Ward Bond Show. And as you can see, I've got another wonderful special guest with me today to start off the show. None other than Molly Carmel. She's an addiction specialist. She is the founder of the Beacon program, as well as author of the best-selling book, Breaking Up with Sugar, which is exactly what we're talking about. And Molly, it's so great to have you via satellite.
It's so great to be here. I missed you. I can't wait to chat.
I know this is so much fun, and you know, sugar is such a big subject. What is the one thing that nobody knows about sugar?
Well, I think that nobody's under the guise that sugar is good for them. Nobody's eating a cupcake saying, yes, this is such a great nutritional choice. But I'm not sure that people quite understand how bad it is for them. And I don't mean just physically from a weight gain perspective or even just a diabetes perspective. I mean the emotional hold it has on you and even a spiritual hold that it has on you that really looks a lot like an addiction.
Yeah, it really is an addiction, and it's what's to me so weird about sugar is that it's not just a physical addiction. There's a mental addiction as well, and I know that you have counseled thousands upon thousands of people about breaking up with sugar. What are some of those steps that you take with your clients?
Well, yeah, and I think the thing is that, we have to be in a relationship with food. There is no avoiding that, right? And so we want to make that relationship with food the best one possible. And being in an abusive relationship with sugar does not equate to a happy and healthy life with food, if you ask me. So, the first thing we talk to people about is really getting a look at, how bad is it really? Chapter 4 of my book talks about this so much, and getting a gauge of where you're eating sugar, how bad it is. And I'm talking like your full day, because these little BLTs, I like to call them, bites, licks, and tastes throughout your day, right? Little handful of candy, finishing your kid's French toast with syrup. It really adds up. And then it's talking about the extent that you're willing to be brave to break it off, right? And for many, a full stop breakup really works beautifully. I like to say, when people have a full stop breakup and they say, oh my God, this is amazing. I say, well, if the solution works for you, you probably have the problem. But it's pretty amazing what I've seen happen. And by the way, I've broken up with sugar for almost 11 years now. And it's like, their mood is better. They're more willing to take risks. They release weight. Their cravings go away. They're not as hungry. People leave food over on the plate. They're happier in their relationships. Their livers get better. Their diabetes goes. It goes on and on and on. And there's so much dissonance, right? Around, I can't do it. How do I live without sugar? And that to me also really looks like the psychological part of an addiction, right? We know that with drugs and other misuse substances. It's like, it's a disease that says, oh, you can't live without me. Oh, how are you ever going to not have a drink again? I've talked more about birthday cake at birthdays for, so many years with people not thinking that they can ever do that. I just made my friend yesterday, I made him an orange with a candle in it because he doesn't eat sugar either. And so, it was a great birthday.
Well, it's so weird because sugar is becoming that physical, mental ball and chain for so many people. And even in your book, you bring up the fact that when people, they're trying to do well, but then they fall off the wagon, there's so much guilt and shame associated with that. So what are some of the tips you have for all my viewers today to take to start breaking up with sugar?
Yeah, I love what you're saying, because diet culture really has us in a noose, right? Because what our reaction is like when we go off of our diet, right? It's like we slice all four tires and we leave the car in the middle of the highway and torch it. And there's no other relationship that you behave that way in, right? So the way that to me, it's like we have to get into a relationship with food. So one of my tips is, make goals that you can achieve. Of course, I think full stop sugar is the best, but if you can't do that, make a commitment that you can hold to yourself. Your relationship with food and your relationship with yourself are incredibly aligned. And so can you start by taking the sugar out of your coffee? And I'm including fake sugar there too. And, can you stop eating dessert at night? Or, can you stop that 4 o'clock sweet? Because little changes lead to big changes, lead to permanent changes. But you got to meet yourself where you are. The other one, which is my big, 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 big one, because the research is so clear that the opposite of addiction is connection, is don't do this alone. If you could have done this alone, you already would have. That's the truth about all diets. Well, diets don't work, but getting yourself into a community. I have an amazing Breaking Up with Sugar face group, but there is so much more out there for people to be able to get supported and to be able to be held and to have some accountability with a group or with a friend. Even if you just tell your sister you're doing this and ask her to check in on you, that's more than doing it alone. And getting connected also helps with that nurturing and nourishment that we look to that sugar gives us sometimes. So it's a win-win-win-win-win.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you need to check. If you have a Facebook page, go on Facebook, look up Molly Carmel, and look up the support group, Breaking Up with Sugar. Thousands of people have joined it. What a wonderful community. And of course, Molly, where can everybody, excuse me, buy your book, Breaking Up with Sugar?
Well, my book is at all major retailers, so you can go buy it there. And if you want more free stuff from me, I love free stuff. I have a website, mollycarmel.com, and there's just tons of free stuff that you can get for your support. I love support.
Well, I love that. So again, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest today, Molly Carmel. She's an addiction specialist, author of Breaking Up with Sugar, founder of the Beacon Program, and check her out on Facebook as well as her website at mollycarmel.com. And ladies and gentlemen, stay with me. We have more great content for in the show today. So stay with me, and we'll be right back after this message.